So you've played Season 10 by now, and you're probably thinking, yes, I've been stunned quite a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Unit Lost. I am Stylosa. All right then, let's talk about some very early impressions of Season 10. The first thing I've got is nobody wants to play main tank. I have lost 6 of my placement games, like on the bounce. I won 4 games, I think, and then lost 6. In those 6 games, nobody would play main tank. I think what happened is, basically, you get screwed over if you play main tank, although you still need a main tank to win. And this puts us in a very, very difficult position where you have to be, and if you guys follow me on Twitter, if you don't, check out at Unit Lost Gaming. I made a tweet. It was a bit of a hot take, and I was like, yes. I used some very colourful language, but I said, you need to be a very crazy person to want to play a main tank this season. That is because you will get stunned into oblivion. We have got a hero in this game by the name of Brigitte who counters all of the tanks in this game very effectively. She can walk up to a Reinhardt and shield bash him. Now, you might think, well, that's not going to kill him, Sty. Well, no, it's not. But what it's going to do is make him lose control of his character. And if you're working with your Reinhardt, then he will just charge in and obliterate the enemy Reinhardt. Or your team will just smash the crap out of the Reinhardt because he's stunned and his barrier is down. Or you kill people behind him. Or if your Reinhardt has got an Earth Shatter, then you stun their Reinhardt and then Earth Shatter. There's a lot of things you can do when it's Brigitte versus Reinhardt. But then what about the other tanks? What about poor Winston? I have not seen Winston all day, I don't think. I can't remember an instance of when I've seen Winston. Winston is heavily countered by Brigitte, and I mean heavily. If you think Reinhardt versus Brigitte is bad, well, then Winston, oh my days. Winston cannot do anything to Brigitte. There are a few reasons why. Firstly, Brigitte can punt him away with whip shot. So when he jumps into the air, Brigitte can just go like, nope, and fling him away. Also, Brigitte can apply armor pack to anyone on her team, which gives them armor if they've got full health, or gives them over armor if they've got not enough health for the heal to, like you know, maybe they've got 20 health left, so the heal overheals, then it turns into armor. That is super strong because Winston does absolutely no damage against armor because of the way armor works in the game, and Winston does very small, fast hits. He doesn't do large hits. It's like tick, 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 very small damage. So this means if you're standing next to your Zen, for example, and you're Brigitte, and Winston he dares to come in, you can just be like, Mr. Zenyatta, I have a fine armor pack for you. Please use this. And he will go, well, thank you very much. And then Winston is basically slapping him with a wet kipper. He's doing no damage to him. He will just, well, he'll probably die, Winston will, because then Brigitte will shield bash him. He's stunned in place. Then he gets his brain smashed in by the rest of the team. It's highly, highly effective. So the question I want to answer, I was going to say, not answer, I want to ask, because we can't answer it just yet, is are there too many stuns in this game, and what the hell is going on? Now remember, this is a very, very early hot take of Season 10 competitive. I've played Brigitte almost exclusively, unless I was forced to play main tank. Well, I've had some very poor teammates. In fact, if I go to my file, here we go. So if I read the name of my files off to you guys, I won't show you them, but I'll read them off. So it says Brigitte 1, Smash Tracer, crushed people in chokes. Yeah, that was on Iconvolve. That was a decent game. Brigitte, and by the way, you'll be seeing gameplay footage of various games in the background of this video, although I don't know which one I'm using, so just sit down and enjoy it. Brigitte 2, huge plays and great skill. Triple support tank. So that was triple support and triple tank. Nice comp. That was in Junkertown. Brigitte 3, utterly team through the game. Toxic, frustrating. That was on Temple of Anubis. It was very frustrating. In fact, I was the only support in that game. Brigitte 4, insane plays, huge blocks on Zen. And in fact, that game's really good because I used Brigitte to block Zen with Transcendence and all kinds of mad stuff. That was a good game. Brigitte game 5, team through bleep. No. Brigitte game 6, or Brigitte, whatever her name is, game 6, ultra players. What is this matchmaking? Oh, God. That was, I think, I was on my own and it was a team of 5 on my team, and then a team of 6 on the enemy team. It was a bad game. Brigitte game 7, more throwers and a very toxic player, and then I named the player, but I'm not going to name him. Brigitte game 8, teammates left. So it's like, oh god, welcome to Overwatch. Brigitte game 9, name of a Genji player, extremely toxic. Well, it's extremely super toxic. Genji, totally toxic. So there was a toxic Genji in that game. And then the last one, nobody played main tank. until I swapped to main tank, but then we only had a Zen healing, which wasn't great. So, yeah, what is happening? What is the early hot take of the season? Well, it's the same Overwatch it's always been, where you're just still playing a random gamble. Are we going to get a team comp? Are we going to get a tank? The good news is now you probably will get enough support. So you will get a Brigitte because everybody's trying to play the new hotness. You'll always get a Mercy or something else like that in your team. So at least you'll have two kind of supports. The thing with Brigitte is she's not a support. She occupies the tank slot, really. You really want a main tank. So if you had like a Winston or a Reinhardt and then a Brigitte and then two supports and then DPS, to me, that is a very ideal team. You could maybe even throw in a triple tank, triple support kind of thing, and then things get really crazy. I've probably included the footage of the Hollywood game in this video. There was crazy fights in this game where we're just sort of running forward, and I don't even know how I'm still alive. It's just like, what the hell? It's a massive brawl. It definitely feels like a different game with Brigitte involved. It feels like Dive, and especially Genji and Tracer, because you can just delete those hits, especially Tracer. I mean, you can just delete Tracer. If you melee the Tracer as she comes near you, shield bash her, and then melee her and flail her, she is dead. And that is just instant deletion. It means Tracer can't touch you, and it also means that you can look after your other supports as well, which is something you should be doing. And like I said, Brigitte isn't exactly a support, but she's not a frontline tank either. She's somebody who sits in the back line and protects it. Like, imagine if you're a Doomfist player. Imagine if you're a Genji player. Imagine if you're a Tracer player. What you want to do to succeed is get into the back line and delete the supports. With Brigitte there, you cannot do that if the Brigitte is playing properly, because she will protect the supports, and then it's nigh on impossible for you to win. The problem with all of this is, though, it depends on having a main tank in your team. It depends on having somebody available to take that main tank role. And I have noticed that there isn't really anybody available to do that. And how do we fix this problem, guys? Well, I hate to say it, but we come back to this role select, we come back to forcing a 2-2-2 meta. I've got a list, and it's as long as my arm, of features that I'd like to see in Overwatch. Things like, preferred map selection, role select, preferred role select. The list just goes on. I'm not going to spoil it because that is a video for another day. But it's still the same season. It's just Brigitte. So it means that if you're a tank player, you're especially stunned, and you're pretty screwed, because she's going to screw you over pretty strong. If you're a flanker, she's probably going to screw you over as well. But we are still seeing a lot of the same problems. As I say, I've only played 10 games, and I've played them not in one setting. I played 5 games when I had some dinner or some lunch. Then I played another 5 games, and admittedly, it is around about 4 p.m. I'm recording this video, so this is generally a bad time in Europe to play the game, because you get a lot of people like maybe coming home from work and whatnot, and they just sort of throw the game and they leave, and it's really, really frustrating. I have noticed that if you play the game in the early hours of the morning, you generally do get people willing to build a team. But is that what Overwatch should be about, right? Should you, like look at me. I just wanted to play Brigitte. I knew Brigitte fits into almost every team comp right now, and it's not really a negative to have a Brigitte. In fact, nobody at any point said get off the Brigitte to me. So I think the community are realizing she's very, very strong. But what I am seeing is no Reinhardt or no Winston. Orisa sometimes. This is a massive problem for the game, because if you don't have a tank, then your DPS just get peppered if the enemy team have got a tank. Like the Route 66 game I was speaking about. I'm not going to use footage of that game in this video because it was quite bad. There was a pretty toxic player in that game. But it was horrific, because you guys know what it's like, right? How the hell do you push on Route 66 without a Reinhardt or an Orisa or a Winston to dive onto the enemy, but the enemy's got a Brigitte, so you can't dive onto them? It's very, very difficult to do anything. It almost feels to me like we're very much in a phase right now of, if you can convince your team to play a proper team comp, you don't even have to be that good, right? It's not like you need to be an amazing player at a Reinhardt or a Winston or whatever, but if you can build an actual team comp, then you generally will win more games. I'm pretty sure that's a fact right now. So my question is, why don't we have this built into the game? It has been a while since I've sat down and played 10 games of Overwatch in one day, I'll be totally honest. And again, it's sort of rubbed me up the wrong way. And I know I've made loads of videos on competitive and how it should be fixed. And I know you guys are like, Sty, not again. But you have to understand, this is coming from the heart. This isn't like me just ragging on the game for no reason. I've made videos on Overwatch for almost 3 years now. I've made thousands of videos on this game. There's like, I don't know, 200 million views on Overwatch videos. Like, I've made a lot of videos on Overwatch because I love this game. But what is killing me is when I look at it and when I play it, it's making me not want to play it, and I don't get why that is an acceptable thing to do with the game. I'm going off on a bit of a mad tangent now, but I'm just going to roll with it, ladies and gentlemen. Like, Overwatch League, you watch that, and it's like, holy God, the plays are awesome. I want to see Brigitte played in Overwatch League, but she's not available, I don't think, in this stage. She might be next stage. She might not be. I'm not even sure. It's like, okay, it's not just Brigitte, though. Like, you see team comps, you see strategies. Yes, I know the players are the best players in the world, and the players play together every day, so there's a lot of communication, and they've got a team comp, which, you know, crucially is the main thing. But I just honestly think if you could go into a game of Overwatch and you knew you had a main tank, you knew you had a main support, and you knew you had some DPS, and maybe a flex player or whatever, then you could build a comp. Like, it doesn't have to be 2-2-2, does it? It doesn't have to be 2 tanks, 2 supports, 2 healers. It could be 1 main tank, 1 main support, 2 flex, 2 DPS, right? That would be a team. That would be something you could work with, right? Because if you've got the Genji mains and the Tracer mains, let them play the hero. Because the fact remains, in this game, I think everybody is happier when they play the hero they want to play. Problem is, the game forces you to pick other heroes, and you feel like crap for doing so. And nothing has changed from Season 9 to Season 10. I felt like crap when I had to play Reinhardt, even though I wanted to play Brigitte, and we still lost the map, because I know we needed a tank. If I just played Brigitte, we would have lost the game straight away. At least with Reinhardt, we had a little bit of a chance. It is very frustrating. I know I've ranted a little bit in this video, guys, but I want to know what your initial impressions of Season 10 are so far. It does look like a game of stun watch. It does look like it's a bad time for main tanks, but also you still need main tanks. And it does look like Brigitte is pretty damn strong, because I'm not really seeing anything which totally counters her, because when she's there operating with the tanks, it's crazy. Although I will say this, there isn't any dive comp. I've not really seen much dive going around, so the game has become much slower. It almost feels like Season 3 to me, but Season 3 on steroids, and I'm not sure that's a good thing. And by the way, Season 3 was the tank Ana meta, where Ana was super strong, and the tanks, you just have like triple and quad tank. Yeah. Ooh. All right, guys, I'm Stylosa, and this is Unit Lost. I apologize for ranting a little bit, but, you know, I'm passionate. I know you guys are passionate as well. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, then leave a comment below, and remember to subscribe to the channel. Click the bell so you get all of the updates for when videos go live, and I will catch you lovely lot on the next one. Toodaloo.